Welcome to the Grow in Sahuarita podcast, where we talk about all things to growing your business in Sahuarita. Enjoy this episode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Alex Magallanes, Economic Development Specialist for the Town of Sahuarita and the lead for the Grow in Sahuarita program. If you tuned into the last episode, you know our program is here to walk alongside local entrepreneurs from idea stage to launch and growth by providing resources, coaching, and community connections. Today, I want to talk about something every entrepreneur faces sooner or later, and that is resilience. Starting and growing a business is never a straight line. It's full of ups and downs, victories and setbacks, and yet it's resilience, the ability to adapt, bounce back, and keep going. That is what separates those who quit too soon from those who build something that is lasting. Sometimes challenges can feel like stop signs, but more often they're just speed bumps. A rejected loan application, maybe a customer who doesn't come back, a lost contract, a marketing campaign that flip-flops on you. Those aren't really failures. They're just feedback. What do I mean by that? Let me tell you something. Do you know that nationally, about 20% of small businesses close within the first year and around 50% within the first 5 years? You can find these statistics at the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That might sound a little bit intimidating, but here's the hopeful side. The businesses that survive are usually the ones that adapt the fastest. So resilience is often just adaptability in action. So instead of asking, did I fail? Start asking, what did I learn and how do I adjust? Many of you did this actually during the pandemic, right? We didn't see the pandemic as a setback or as failure. Many of you pivoted, you reassessed, right? Maybe you took a pause to reassess and then you pivoted. That is resilience, my friends. One of the myths of entrepreneurship is that we're supposed to do everything alone, and that's just simply not true. And here in Sahuarita, especially, it's not true because you have resources like the Grow in Sahuarita program, which we are here to walk alongside you. Through the program, we've seen firsthand how entrepreneurs thrive when they connect with peers, mentors, local resources. Whether it's swapping lessons with another business owner, joining one of our workshops, or reaching one-on-one coach for one-on-one coaching, your resilience grows when you plug into community. Let me tell you something. There's a study out there from Harvard Business that shows or found out that entrepreneurs with strong networks are most likely to pivot effectively during challenges, and they're about 2.5 times more likely to sustain growth. You can find that at hbr.org. So what does that mean? It means that community is essential for entrepreneurs. You'll hear a lot of podcasts, you'll hear a lot of YouTube or YouTubers that talk about how entrepreneurship can be very lonely. But it can be. It doesn't have to, but it can be very lonely. So don't go at it alone. Resilience is definitely contagious. I love seeing, especially when we have in-person workshops, I love seeing just business owners, local business owners connecting with one another. I currently help two groups, two different businesses come in contact during the state of the town. I introduced them in person, and now they're already in conversations of potential partnerships and building a referral system between these two businesses. And so it's super cool to see these contagious moments, if you will, where they're just building that community, they're bouncing ideas. You may ask how I know. How do you know, Alex, that this is happening? Well, it just so happens that they keep copying me in their emails, right? So I've been included in the email threads between these two companies, and And so as a facilitator for the Grow in Sahuarita program, our job is to continue bringing resources to these two entrepreneurs. And one of the ways that we're currently doing that, since they're in talks of a partnership, is we want to facilitate the meeting so they can use the town hall. They can use one of our conference rooms. All you have to do is really hit me up and I'll reserve a room for you, especially if you are a Grow in Sahuarita client. And so the point of what I'm saying here is that, again, I want to mention you don't have to go at it alone. Resilience is contagious, right? Especially you build that resilience when you're bouncing ideas off of each other. You're telling stories, right? Some failure stories, if you will, or setbacks, as well as victory stories. And that's how you build that community. That's how you recharge, right? That determination in you. So whatever your why is of why you started a business, you can only go at it alone. You can only, have that determination alone for a time. It's when it comes into connection, you plug into community, that you will recharge that battery, if you will. So surround yourself with others who can also build or are currently building something. So with all that being said, here are some practical steps I'd like to share with you so that you can continue practicing just honestly being powerful, perhaps small, right? You're maybe starting from your garage, maybe you're starting from your kitchen, what have you. But continue being powerful because I want to remind you that what you're doing, it's a powerful thing. And so here are just some suggestions, some practices that you can keep so that you can continue growing your business. Number one, keep a wins journal. At the end of each week, write down maybe at least one thing that went well with your business. Being an entrepreneur myself and along with my wife, we've had a lot of setbacks. And we found ourselves at times where it's just like, man, this week sucked. Like, business-wise, we had a lot of setbacks. And that wasn't really helping with the energy, right, within the business. And so we had to kind of switch our thinking into like, okay, yeah, a lot of things went wrong, but what did go well? And what we started realizing is that we could learn from our wins. We could definitely learn from the setbacks. And then we could, kind of like pause and say, okay, well, that didn't go as planned. What can we do differently next week? And so, and then what also went well, right? Maybe we continue repeating that one thing that went well, and we just hang on to that until we break through. And it actually worked. It worked for us. So no matter how small, how big your business is, tough days are definitely going to come. But when you have proof of your progress, right? When you keep a journal of your wins, if you will, then you can always go back and say, you know what, a year, and that's pretty cool. I did that, and I look back to my journal, and I'm like, man, a year ago we were struggling with this, but look how we've grown in the business. Another suggestion or tip, number 2, is create a plan B mindset. So when you launch a campaign, or maybe you launch a new product, ask yourself, what is my backup if this doesn't work? In that way, you're never starting from zero, right? So even if you're like, hey, the plan is to participate in this town event, cool. And my plan is to sell this many products during this event. Cool. Well, have a plan B if it doesn't go accordingly, right? If you didn't meet your sale quota, if you will, what can you do? Is that something that you can, with a product that is left over, that you can promote online, that you can sell on your e-commerce site? So have a plan B for that. Tip number 3 is schedule recovery time. So resilience is not, and I mentioned this last podcast, and you'll hear me saying this quite often. Resilience is not about intensity. It's about consistency. However, Also, resilience is not about working 24/7. You'll soon burn out, and that's not good for you. That's not good for your family. That's not good for your business. Resilience, it's about also scheduling a recovery time where you can just recover, right? Recharge, build some rest, perhaps exercise, do some workouts, what have you. I don't know. And even just do those simple breaks so that you don't burn out. Burnout, it's a thing that entrepreneurs experience quite often. And then burnout leads to cynicism and then depression. And there's so many things that come after that that are really the fruit of burnout. So you don't want to get there. You want to definitely schedule recovery time, even when things are not going as planned. Oftentimes, especially in our culture, right? If things don't go as planned, we feel the need to even work harder and stay up later and, send more emails and do more. All that's going to lead into, you may have some wins after that, right? But what it's going to lead to is burnout. And so you won't have the mental state and energy to do neither be if you have a full-time job, be a good employee, nor be a good family member, right? A husband or a father, a daughter, a son, whatever, a mother, because your mental state is just not there. And so there's the ripple effect of the burnout. It really affects everything, and it turns into your business, and you have a bad experience with a client, you react, and everything goes sideways. So scheduling that recovery time, even when things are not going as planned, it's essential. Tip number 4, seek feedback early, right? A lot of times we look for feedback from experts and mentors when it's too late, right? When things have gone wrong for a while. And so what you want to do is get that feedback at an early stage. Instead of waiting until something fails, get input, get feedback while you're building something, right? I like to do check-ins. I do have a mentor of my own. And I do, when I'm building something, I check in. Hey, check this out. I give him a call. He's in Texas, as a matter of fact. And I give him a call. Hey, this is what I'm building. What are your thoughts? Before I launch something. And so when you get that feedback, what's going to do is going to make your business stronger, right? Because you're having a person that it's outside of the business looking at the big picture, and they can say, hey, make sure you watch out for A, B, and C, and you get a good feedback. So yeah, there goes that. Tip number 5, invest in yourself. Now, what does that mean? Oftentimes, sometimes I should say, we look at investment in yourselves as an expense. For tax purposes, definitely can be an expense. But what I mean by that is investing in yourself. It shouldn't be something that you put as the last resource. Actually, as an entrepreneur, it should be something that you put up front all the time. Let me give you examples. Investing in a course, investing to go to a conference or a workshop, investing time to learn a new tool, maybe an AI tool. So every skill that you are investing in yourself will have another layer of resilience, because you're equipping yourself to have more tools, to gather more tools to grow your business. So invest in yourself looks in many different ways. Yes, on paper, right? If you are going to a conference, that obviously it's business related. Obviously, on paper, it can be an expense. It can be a write-off. But I want you to offer, aside from that, I want you to look at it as you're investing in yourself. Entrepreneurship it's very much about leadership. And the first person you have to lead in entrepreneurship is yourself. You lead yourself. You build that discipline. You build that resilience. You build that mindset, right? of always adapting, always being flexible, adopting other ways of thinking, staying proactive versus reactive. So it's about a lot of it. It has to do with leading yourself. So invest in yourself. It's definitely a must, at least on my playbook. So what happens here? There's a saying. It says entrepreneurs don't succeed because of what happens to them, but because of how they respond. And so that's a mindset. Carol Dweck's research on growth mindset shows that people who believe skills can be developed through effort are more likely to overcome setbacks. In entrepreneurship, it's very easy to compare yourself with others, right? And you look at the wins of someone else, someone maybe a competitor, and you're like, man, how are they doing that? How are they winning at that? Oh, it's probably because they got talent. I would say that's not probably true. I think it's they just developed skills that took time to develop those skills, right? Over time. And so it's all about mindset. It's not so much about if you're talent. And of course, some of you are just natural, right? Leaders, natural entrepreneurs and visionaries or what have you. But talent can only take you so long or so far. And so many times in entrepreneurship, it's about developing those skills. And part of it is developing a mindset that can help you eventually overcome setbacks. So here's a question for you. When you face your next business challenge, will you see it as proof that you're not ready or as proof that you are learning? You see the mindset shift, right? It's almost like saying, will you see the cup half full or half empty? It's the same thing, right? When you see another challenge in your business, are we going to think, man, this proves that I'm just not ready for entrepreneurship. I'm not ready for a business. Or, this proves that I'm learning something. I'm learning something new. So that one mindset shift could determine whether you're going to keep going or you're not. You're going to quit your business. So here's my invitation to you. Resilience is just not about you as an individual. It's about what you're building. You're building a resilient community of entrepreneurs in Sahuarita. So in other words, you're part of a greater tapestry, if you will. So the Grow in Sahuarita program exists for that very reason, to equip you with resources, connect you with others. And we've been, thankfully, we've been very successful since we launched the program, February 2023. We have been very successful at connecting entrepreneurs with other entrepreneurs. And we love doing that. We love seeing the birth of new partnerships, people who are just referring clients to one another. We love seeing that. And then the program also exists so that you're not facing challenges alone. We've had people come to the program that they get our coaching for 2-3 weeks and then they're good, and that's okay, right? Like we love for you to stay with us for life, but really the program was designed so that it's a partnership, a lifetime partnership. But at the same time, right? We wanted you to grow and use this resource as you need it, and as many times as you need it. So if you are feeling stuck, if you're listening to this podcast and you're currently feeling stuck, or you already hit a roadblock, or maybe you just need someone to help you think and do some brainstorm, okay? Reach out to us at grow@sahuaritaaz.gov. Again, the email is grow@sahuaritaaz.gov. And let us walk with you. So here are my closing remarks. If you don't have to have it all figured out today, and you probably by now you already know that you don't have it all figured out, and you probably won't do it tomorrow, right? And that's okay. Resilience doesn't mean never failing. What it actually means is just rising again and just being better prepared for the next challenge. Every challenge is just going to shape you into the kind of entrepreneur that not only builds a business, but you're also contributing to the strength of your community. So my friends, keep going, adapt when things change, celebrate small wins, and just stay connected, guys. And remember, Sahuarita's entrepreneurial future is brighter because of you, because you are powerful and you believed in yourself. That led you to start a business. So thank you so much for starting a business. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Alex Magallanes with Grown Sahuarita Podcast.